to it.
Yep. Unmuted in 3, 2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today, you are joining us here in the Piltover division. It is going to be the Rumble stage, and it's going to be the quarterfinals of the second-seeded Paradox versus the third-seeded TDS Knights. Today, I am Verdant Chaos, and I'm joined by Abba Trombone. Say hi, Abba.
Hi, this is going to be a lovely match here. Exciting to see both of these teams. Should one of these teams lose, they're not going to be out forever. They will be able to go into the losers bracket, but that means they're not going to be sitting there in the semifinals as this is the quarterfinals. So there are some stakes to be had at here, trying to get some of that cash prize if they end up getting into the finals there. So very important here. We're going to have to see how some of these first bands are going to come out. There's some one tricks on here. So like that Yi ban, very well expected there. Yi can certainly carry games on his own and has a lot of games in the side of Paradox's jungler there. So it makes a lot of sense for that one to be coming through.
Yeah, Little Fenix on TDS last season had around, I believe, 35 games of Master Yi last season. I think that was his highest win rate. Otherwise than that, most of his other champions hovered around the 50% win rate. So I'm not surprised to see that ban go through. Do you know what the second ban is? I'm seeing a null. I'm seeing a null here on my end for TDS Knights.
For TDS, you have a Morgana, Lux, and then a Mumu.
Lux.
And
Okay,
then for Paradox, you have Yi and Teemo, if those are not showing as well.
Okay. Yeah, I see the Yi team. I just didn't see Lux in there. So I'm not surprised to see Lux on the side of Paradox. You have, you have Cleo being able to run Lux at a very proficient level. So I'm not surprised to see that going.
Yeah, and the Shen ban there as well, a very popular pick.
Yes.
For sure. And then on top of this, we're prio picking AD carry, which is something you'll see fairly often here coming out on TDS. Xayah scales pretty well. She has a weaker laning phase for sure, so we'll have to see if she gets anything with it that's going to maybe help her laning phase out or make sure she doesn't get caught out and die. Maybe just a little bit of appeal there, but she's excellent anti-dive there, trying to make sure that Paradox isn't going to be able to get in there and get super nasty. Although we will have to mention here that Kalista has one of the strongest level 1s out of all of the AD carries, doing a lot of damage with Rend. Should you get all of those juicy spears in there, it really hurts. And the slow to go with it is very potent as well.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised to see Kalista. I rarely see her across all echelons of gameplay. Definitely more like in the very upper tiers, but even then that's very rarely used and usually often with a tanky support. So I'm gonna be surprised to see who she puts the Black Spear with. I think it might be a tanky engaged jungler if I had to guess, but now we're going to be getting a Xayah Blitzcrank. Blitzcrank is really going to be messing up the possible early aggression of a Kalista if he's able to just get the knockups or the pull and really just throw her out of position. So I'm going to be excited to see how this bot lane goes. I think it's going to be quite volatile.
Yeah, my guess is they're just going to try and yoink out the Soraka, kill them before they're going to be able to get any sort of peel or sustain out of there, and just make sure they're going to be dead so they can't end up healing the Kalista. Of course, Kalista could be trying to bait out these hooks with her nice movement speed, the mad hops, dodging in and out of range, going into the minions, dodging out of the minions, etc. But it does make things a little bit harder for her. She does notably fall off, though, which means this Ornn pick is quite nice. Of course, he can go mid or top. It's probably going to be top lane, just kind of knowing how he ends up sitting in a lot of these games. And it's going to give the team one more scaling, but more importantly, they're going to have a free counter pick top lane, which is a pretty big deal as you're able to get a lot of counterplay in the top lane just in the matchups alone.
So right now, I'm not surprised to see some of these bans coming out. Asol has been quite strong across all levels of play and really can win some of these later games. But then Diana and Sejuani, they really aid for like the lockdown. But Maokai is going to be picked very, very late here, and that's going to be going. That's going to be the jungle for Paradox. But they're going to be saving the last counter pick for the mid lane, and we're going to be seeing TDS and the rest of TDS's roster here. So we're going to be seeing their mid lane and top lane. If I had to guess, Syndra still pretty good here.
Yeah, Syndra's still pretty good here as well. Gonna give some peel, some anti-dive, and could technically
Ooh,
disrupt Ornn, I believe, a little bit too
yeah,
here, right? If he doesn't
Mordekaiser
get his
can be pretty good. Yeah,
R2. Yeah,
yeah.
Mordekaiser is gonna wreak havoc versus Ornn. Not a favorable matchup for him as well. Victor is going to be able to provide some peel and do a lot of this dot damage versus some of these bigger tanks. Might not be able to lock down a Callisto who might be able to jump in and out of that a magnetic field there, or the gravity field, I should say. But nonetheless, is going to provide a lot of poke in there and potential. It's an interesting comp coming out of TDS Knights. I think they're going to be able to get a lot of potential out of some of these picks, especially considering some of these are more comfort picks for them as well.
Hmm. I think that yeah, I'm fairly certain that this is Zyra mid lane. We rarely get,
Mhm.
I rarely get to see that. I've seen it a few times in the Korean bracket, but outside of that, I very rarely get to have that pleasure. But just immediate thoughts. Who do you think kind of has the advantage here? Looking at both these squads.
Advantage wise, the earlier game is going to be going to a paradox here. I think Zyra's going to be able to bully Victor enough, and Callista is going to be able to just utilize a decent chunk of her spike. And Zaya is weak enough there. And with the level of play we're seeing, the early game matters a little bit more than it would in some of these later games. Scaling certainly is pretty potent here, as you are also able to get into the later game here as well. And TDS Knights, I think, is going to have a pretty decent advantage here. Mordekaiser can be a bit of a juggernaut. Victor also doing a lot of damage, as well as Zaya, and they have plenty of turret damage. The issue, though, is they're not going to have enough tank to go with it. So it's a little bit of a toss up, but I think Paradox is going to overall have the edge.
So right now, I think I would have to agree with you that Paradox is going to have the edge. I think for the most part, TDS has a fairly good comp, but kind of the one outlier for me is Nocturne. Right now, you just
Mm-hmm.
have like into an Ornn, Maokai, and Zyra. I don't know how Nocturne is able to like freely dive into that comp. Obviously,
Yeah.
you want to go for like a Soraka Calista, but I think if you try to dive into that, you are going to be in a little bit of a nightmare scenario.
You can only spell shield one thing, and once that's
Yeah.
gone, it's gone. Like, and there's so much potential follow up, especially if you don't necessarily have the vision. Of course, he could just alt, make sure the vision there is kind of disrupting stuff. But you got to remember here, this isn't solo duo where that's super potent. We don't have all these comms going around here. People are going to be in calls with each other, talking about what's going on, possibly just pinging, hey, Nocturne's over here, so you can really play this stuff out. If you know where the jungler is, you can, of course, play things out on the opposite side of the map and take some of those more risky plays, knowing that the jungler is not going to be there to back them up.
So right now, we've definitely talked about the bot side of the map. On the top side of the map, it's going to be Ornn versus Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser is definitely favored, kind of throughout like the entirety of the match. However, if Ornn plays it well, he's not going to be like he shouldn't die in lane quite often. But if it's going to be very much micro dependent to get away from a lot of the aggression that Mordekaiser could be putting out. And if Mordekaiser goes for potentially like Rylai's early, Ornn could very much be screwed there because he has the unstoppable proc to get away from the pull, but then he still gets hit by the ability. He's then still slowed for a period of time, and then they can follow it up the Q, and then if they can get the rotation of the passive coming out from Mordekaiser, you can just run him down the lane and possibly really bully him out of this game. And R rips away all of Ornn's tanky stats. So I think that's definitely going to be going more here.
That's true as well. And it can disrupt any potential engage they're going to be going with, as
Yeah.
Call of the Forge Gods isn't going to be there in the Death Realm. And not to mention, Mordekaiser doesn't have any mana that they have to chew through, and they have a little bit of self-sustain as well with their W. So he could just go bonk and bonk and bonk this Ornn here, trying to forge him in his own little shape at his fountain.
Yeah, and I think probably more of the interesting matchup will be just kind of seeing where the junglers like really how they want to play the game, where they want to gank. Because Maokai obviously has the important option of, does he want to go for the first strike build and go for more of that like AP bruiser and just try to play for more of the sapper lanes, or does he want to go for more of the phase rush and get into the nitty gritty of it and really kind of play for that tanky engage? And then Nocturne, I don't know if you can go the I think you maybe have to go more of the bruiser route, because
Yeah,
I don't believe you get to one shot the back line, or if you do, you get to one shot one
it's a
person, you're
one
the
for
glass
one.
cannon, and then you die.
Yeah, he's gonna have to try and bruiser this out, especially with just how many tanks there are. It's gonna be kind of nice to be able to do that. They do have a mostly front to back comp on the side of TDS Knights. They
Yeah.
also kind of want to get some picks because like Zaya can do some picks, but they're certainly pretty good at front to back, and Victor's the same way. Mordekaiser really wants to do some of these 1v1s, making see who has the better 4v4 comp rather than 5v5, taking out some key players there. Like if Soraka's in the Death Realm, obviously can't ultimate her team there. No Star Call to go with it. So there's potential to be ahead here, but I don't think it's quite as well built as Paradox's team.
I think I have to agree with that. I think it will be important for the Callista to play well this game. Like, there's going to be a lot
Mhm.
of pressure on her, because on Paradox they only have Callista as their AD champ. Otherwise, everyone across the board is all AP. So if Callista is shut down, they're going to be struggling for damage type, because then across the board you can then just build Merc Dreads, and then obviously further MR items, and that'll really help them out versus TDS Knights, who has a kind of a greater spread of damage types here.
That is certainly true there. Merc Treads could help, but there's just so much CC sitting with Orin, followed up by like Maokai and then Zyra plus her
Yeah,
ultimate.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Callista has a little bit as well, especially because Callista is just going to be able to yeet some of these big baddies at them as well. Of course, there's a little bit of a disincentive there with the Mordekaiser, might just kind of yoink them into the death realm. So they'll have to be a little bit more careful there. And neither of these beefcake factories are going to be able to really fight him in his realm either.
Yeah, Maokai could maybe kind of heal his way through it, but like if Maokai gets out the twisting advance ahead of time, I think
Yeah,
that
that's important.
I think that's probably better to go for Ornn. But with this kind of pregame analysis, we are going to be switching over to commercial, and we are going to be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with game one. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you soon. Go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be getting into the action for game one right away. And right now, it looks like it's going to be TDS going for a possible invade over through the top lane.
Yeah, that certainly seems to be the case. Blitzcrank does enable some pretty decent invades, so it's very smartly done on the side of Paradox, trying to just bush cheese, and Trajan trying to just make sure they're a nice, tasty little bait. But they're not going to be taking it anytime soon, as the TDS Knights are on the opposite side of the map. They're probably just going to be able to settle for a ward here, see where they're going to be. The enemy jungler is going to be, see where Morgana Bathwater is going to be sitting, and just be able to play around a potential Maokai bit gank, which is can be quite potent should you hit level 2, level 3, and you're able to just kind of all in and really chunk people out or just secure a first blood.
So right now we're going to be having Phoenix start on the top side with Fishy here, and so going to be going for a clear towards bot side, trying to help out with the possible early aggression, or maybe go for an early and try to go for an early grab on a bad witch. But I'm not surprised to see Bathwater starting on the bot side of the map.
Yeah.
Just getting a lot of these sapper lanes all set up in the brush, and then just taking that blue sentinel down very quickly here. But
An important thing to note here.
ooh, that's going to be instant grab on a Tran. He's going to use the exhaust immediately. He's trying to get some of this damage out, but he's going to be taking the greater end of this damage. Not So Dark is quite low himself, but Tran was taking a lot of damage from minions there.
Yeah, cease and assist getting a victorious pull there. Very important to try and chunk out some of these stronger champions in the early game to try and disable them from doing anything super crazy. Although Not So Dark's taking a lot of damage here, thanks to how Callista's.
Ooh, that's going to be a flash coming in, and Trahan's going to be flashing out. That's going to be a root coming in, and Trahan's getting quite low here as Dark's going to be getting the pickup right now. Cleo's all by themselves. Are they able to get out? The Starf, ooh, knocked up right there by cease and assist. The Starfall is going to be slowing him down. Not So Dark unable to get the pickup there, but nice job on the side of TDS.
Yeah, all of those summoners there being very important. Ooh. Although I'm going to have to hold here.
Right now, Fishy's going to be going for the long play on Hunter. He's going to be getting some of this damage off. Conquer's up, but he's going to be playing away from it. Phoenix is going to be getting the fear. Right now, it's Hunter's trying to get away best he can, but he's unable to get enough grass procs to heal on up, and Phoenix is able to take him down at level 2. Only went for an 8 clear and able to get a free kill on to Hunter on the top side.
Yeah, the numbers advantage there in the top lane, being able to play things out and just really get this under. It looks like Fishman's going to have to be able to get this under. Otherwise, he's going to get ganked and caught out here.
And right now, you have Bathwater coming up. That's going to be flash away. He's going to be missing that, but Bathwater's going to be shoving him back. Right now, can he hold on? He could get Conquer rolling here, but yeah, this Brutal Proc's going to be probably the thing to take him down. Nope, Bathwater's going to be getting the pickup, but right now you have the level 3 Phoenix here and versus level 4 Bathwater, but he has double buff. So I think Bathwater has to respect that and walk away from this play.
Yeah, Create Assist already trying to roam here into the mid lane, trying to get some pressure. We saw some great hooks, just like in that first blood fight, trying to get some extra gold on Desire. And when you're the higher scaling champion, that extra gold certainly is going to matter, although they're behind in farm, which is something to note.
So right now, he gets grabbed on Bad Witch, and Bad Witch is going to be getting low, and Phoenix is getting the pickup there. She doesn't have flash because she had to use it earlier. So really good grab onto them. Now kind of creating an advantage for the mid lane.
Yeah, we're already sitting at 1,000 gold difference here. Of course, the game is only 4 minutes and 30 seconds in, so that's a pretty sizable lead to start out this quick. But this is due to a lot of the roams that have been happening. So we'll have to see if we're going to be seeing some more wards, some more control wards bot, trying to make sure they're safe and not get caught out. Or if we're just going to be respecting the MIA cease and assist here, right here, who's been able to get a lot of plays here. And not to mention, Not So Dark has been able to get some solo XP because of this as well.
So right now, and he is down a bit of CS because he was in the lane by himself, but he's, as you mentioned, still that level ahead, has more items. Callista hasn't been able to get the back off ever since she dies, wasn't able to spend any meaningful gold. So Not So Dark still in a very, very good spot here in the spot lane.
Yeah, certainly to be the case. One thing to note here is the Oath is placed on the Soraka here, so they're going to be able to trade a
Huh.
little bit better as you do some extra
Yeah.
damage. Just being able to Q there and do a little extra damage, dodging the hook here,
Ooh.
and the silence, getting it some return poke here. Uh, the W passive on Callista is pretty potent. Enables some nice trading, especially if you get some autos into a minion and then pull it back. If it kills, you get some refunds on the mana, and the cooldown is a little bit nicer as well.
So right now, Fishy and Hunter are kind of going at it, but and Mordekai's are slowly kind of getting whittled down here. But Hunter's going to be getting kind of low on mana, but Hunter will be hitting the level 6 earlier before Fishy, so he's not able to disjoint the Call of the Forge God. So this is going to be a potentially volatile situation here in the top lane. But right now, Bathwater might be looking for some wards or a play against Nocturne here in the top side of the jungle. But Phoenix has more items, more gold on him, so I don't think, yeah, Morgana can't
Don't
really
forget
look
about
at
the
anything.
waves, enabling some of these TDS knights being able to roam over should any invade happen and prevent it from happening, or just getting a kill out of it. It looks like this is just going to be a nice ward to try and safeguard against any potential ganks, especially with them recalling. Just not getting a whole lot out of this, not being able to get a nice successful gank, except for that top one we saw.
This is just going to be another grab from Cease and Assist. He's going to be getting into the damage. That's going to be a knockup, but right now you have the Chaos Nova burning on Bad Witch, and she's just going to be going down to Swedish, just killing her with the Ignite there, burning alive.
Yeah, numbers advantage. They're doing a whole lot, and it looks like Trajan's going to have to pick up this wave so they don't bleed too much gold. But that means Not So Dark's going to be able to free farm, push, and then possibly get a bounce back and spend some more of this gold trying to get a lead. Who's probably approaching level 6 here because of all the roams that we've been seeing out of TDS.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say Cease and Assist probably is not going to be able to run up and grab, but I think it's going to be very hard for the side of Paradox to be setting up for the Dragon here. They
They
won't
have
be
mid
too
lane, but they're
bad.
not going to have bot lane. They're not going to have
Yeah,
bot lane, and
yeah.
they don't have the levels.
Yeah, right now, ooh, that's gonna be him go and Phoenix going to be going in on the rock. She's going to be
Oh,
flashing forward, unable to get away, and Cleo's going to be going down. That's going to also be taking Trahan with him, and he's going to be now having. Oh, that's going to be a double kill for him, but that was a max
and the
range grab, and
pull.
Bathwater is going to be going down to Cease and Assist there. Wow, well played, Cease and Assist. And this is
Yeah,
already very much a
good
dire
hooks
situation.
there. Yeah, a 4K gold lead at 8 minutes is pretty big here. I figured should the Knights be able to get a nice vision lineup and get some of these hooks and get some of these picks, they're going to be sitting quite pretty here, especially with the fact that they have some scaling. But we haven't seen any like official team fights pop up here, which could be enough to change things out. Of course, they're going to be losing some objectives. Uh, because they're just a little bit further behind and they're not going to be able to spend some of their action economy into there. They're going to have to worry about getting some gold, pushing some waves, and making sure they're safe.
Ooh, that's going to be a flash coming in from Fishy. Right now, there's going to be a knockout from Cease and Assist here in the top lane. Hunter trying to get away best he can, but right now he's slowly taken down. That's going to be Fishy taking him down with that last hit. And going to be able to shove in this top wave. And right now, Ornn was probably your your strongest person on the side of Paradox, and he's going to be going down. So just Phoenix able to find Phoenix and Cease and Assist are able to find a lot of value across this map. Doing a great job here setting in the early tempo.
Yeah, the only other person who has as much gold is Morgana Bathwater with just 100 more gold here. Although this is going
Ooh,
to be changing up here.
Not so dark. It gets exhausted here, trying to get away best he can, but getting low. Tran's going to be able to get the rend and get the kill, but Tran's going to be putting in a lot of damage, and that's going to be a shutdown handed over to Callista. 800 gold from just the Nocturne kill, and then the 300 with the Zaya
And
there.
potential
Wow.
plates if they're able to stop assist from grabbing them.
Ooh, that's a grab. That's a knockup, and you're still under tower. That's a silent. Yeah, Cease and Assist is going to be getting the pickup there.
Greeting for the plates, trying to make sure they get a little bit more gold here. Of course, they're going to be at a gold advantage. They're going to have more gold on their character and in total than Not So Dark, but that's not going to be enough here. You don't want to be sitting here at just a little bit more gold when you're stronger earlier and weaker later here.
Definitely. And
Now,
speaking of kind of like stronger earlier, weaker later, right now Victor has a massive lead over the mid lane right now, is 30 CS up because of those two early
and
Blitzcrank
1,000
skanks.
gold.
Yeah, and 1,000. Wow, jeez.
Well,
So like
it's a kill plus 30 farm. And
Yeah.
don't forget about the plate that just happened as well. That's going to be helping. And we were able to farm as victory, You're able to get your abilities to level up as well, which is also something that's important to note. And just being able to poke people out, just like those caster minions there, just getting absolutely deleted in the second part of his major laser.
So right now, yeah, Hex Core is already through one level of upgrades. I don't know how far along it is for the other ones, but kind of with the kill and the assist, that's just going to be cruising through these pretty quickly. Yeah, it's already halfway through to the second upgrade. So Swedish Pancakes in a really good spot here to potentially carry this game.
And when the Rift Herald coming up here, try and get this first tower here, getting to at least some plates here. That's called the Forge God.
Ooh, that's going to be lights out coming in from Nocturne, and they're going to be able to just find the pickup onto Hunter. Hunter,
Oh,
ooh,
the pickup!
that's going to be Treyhead overextending, and that's going to be cease and assist getting the hook, and now that's going to be the pull. No pull back yet. Dark is getting kind of low here, and that's going to be the end of the play. But cease and assist is going to lose a lot of possible health on a rend. Wow, that was a really good hook start, but then that play turned around when she needed to be able to pull back the feathers there. Sadly, she didn't have it.
You don't have a repositioning tool until you end up having Gale Force, which is why it's so popular on Xayah as a champion. And of course, Kalista can just hop around, so they're going to be able to dodge a lot of that. Things working out just enough for no one to end up dying there. But that might not be the case here topside, at least for the turret, if not a champion.
Uh-oh, cease and assist might be possibly caught out here. Is going to be getting slowed, rooted. Oh, that's gonna be silence and flash. He's gonna be surviving there, but Treyhan's just gonna turn it over to Not So Dark, and he's gonna be going on down. That's gonna be barely missed rocket grab, and Cleo and Treyhan are just gonna be finding these pickups on Not So Dark.
Yeah, an important one to have as well. It looks like they did end up going Kraken Slayer, trying to chew through some of the beefier champions, which certainly does make some sense. I would expect more of that coming out of Swedish Pancakes, being able to build a Leandries and just really peel and do a bunch of percent health damage here, but that might not be needed.
Ooh, gonna be getting the knock up there, and Phoenix gonna be going in on Cleo, but that's gonna be the Chaos Nova. Oh no, that's gonna be the Chaos Nova taking down Treyan. So they're getting a lot of these good picks here onto Not So Dark, but now at the end they kind of have overstated on a lot of these, and then have perished as a result.
Yeah, Paradox kind of wishing they weren't dying here as often as they are, but it looks like they're getting caught out just like Morgana Bathwater, getting bullied out of their blue buff here at 13 minutes. No tower has fallen yet, but a lot of plates have been taken, and only one has been taken on the side of Paradox, which means we're sitting at a 6k gold lead coming out of TDS Knights, a super strong early game coming out of them, which is a little bit deceiving out of their comp, but they've been able to get these picks out quite well and rotate and punish for them. Just like in this kind of play right here, it looks like Forge Gods is not going to be enough here as well. Another death.
Well, that's gonna be Swedish having to flash out to get away from the what is it?
Yeah.
What's the name of that? That's something Dominion. Something Dominion, if I recall.
Something Dominion.
What is that? Fate's Call. Wow, not even close. I tried.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us.
It's not like it's a super well played champion for this bracket as well. It's something I haven't seen in a while. Of course, I'll see it every once in a while in an ARAM game. It's super fun to play until you realize that's how you get Carpal Tunnel. But Shield Bow here coming out here as a response. Pretty typical item that you're going to be sealing out of Trojan's Callista here. Important, just being able to sustain, do a little bit more damage, and you're going to be kind of hopping into a mid-rangey with these fights, so that shield bow is going to be important.
Right now, Cease and Assist is just going to be going in, but now they're just going to be diving, putting a lot of this damage onto Cleo. Cleo's going to be flashing away. Cleo's getting quite low. Phoenix is just going to be able to get the grab, but that's going to be Treyhan getting away. The rocket grab going to be missing. Dark trying to get some of this damage, but unable to find it. That's the knockup.
Rend?
But are they? I don't know if they're going to be able to follow up that damage, and Treyhan's going to be barely living with a sliver of health there under their own tower, but this might not.
Yeah, they're
stand.
grading for the XP here, and of course, C's can just yoink them. The wish not gonna be enough.
Yeah, and that's gonna be a bot side tower along with Treyhan going down.
Yeah, both of them going down there. We both know why this is happening. We're already sitting at about a 9K gold lead, and top tower also fell while this play was going on. Just like you predicted earlier on, that Riley's Crystal Scepter also coming into play. They're not going to be able to run out of here. And with the early game coming to a close here, a lot of objectives have been closed out by the Knights. I know we weren't necessarily expecting them to be winning the early game here, but it looks like they're doing that, and they're just coming out as the stronger team. They've been really able to blend all of these plays together, get some leads, push them out. So they're certainly deserving to win this first game. Should things be lining up here, the Rift Herald is going to be coming out here, which can be pretty powerful with all these outermost turrets coming out here. They could try and get a tier 2 turret if they end up playing this next fight right.
Oh, Bathwater is going to be in trouble here. Using the Twisting Advance, trying to get out as best they can with the phase rush, but that's going to be ultimate coming in from Nocturne. A lot of the damage coming through. He's getting slowed. That's going to be a knockup, but that's going to be Bathwater falling down. Cleo's trying to get away under tower. They get the auto on the tower. He's getting quite slow. Cleo's just going to get burned out alive right now. And Bad Witch trying to do the best they can. They're getting quite low themselves. Hunter is half HP, and that's going to be at the end of the fight. But right now they're just trying to get a little bit of poke. But they have all the minions set up. You have Rift Herald coming out. I think they're going to be rotating it over there.
Yeah, I think they're going to be able to do it, and they're not going to have to commit a whole lot out of that. And with a play like this, it might just be lights out here with a sick hook coming out of Cease and Assist. Of course, getting hit by a power shot. It's an execute, not even taking any damage there. Very nice. Of course, not going to have a perfect game here as you technically have one death, but no one was able to claim it. No one was able to get that bounty as well. So very, very well played, just yoinking these champions and getting stuff out. Now, of course, it's 18-4 here. I don't like to be super doom and gloom super early into a game, but I'm asking, hey, what do you think is going to be banned possibly out of here? What do you think the big issue that Knights is having?
100%. What I think will be changing will be I think Paradox has to ban Blitzcrank, and I don't know if Callista with Soraka I don't think is the choice here. Like Callista definitely got like an early bit of value, but Callista with Soraka I just don't think is the choice. I think you need the tank to go with it.
Yeah, you certainly do need a tank to go with it. Unfortunately, they don't have someone to tank for them.
Yeah, she's just going to get feared, just going to get taken down.
Yeah, as I was going to be saying here, that with Callista, you are going to be having a trading lane based on how the support wants to be going here, because the support really warps how the laning phase is going to be going here. Of course, some champions like Draven really do warp how it wants to be playing. Pretty much any lane with a Draven wants to be a kill lane. But with this case, you want something that kind of enables the Callista here, and trading isn't going to be enough. Bewitch here, or Bad Witch, just getting taken down there as well. They'll have to go back to Hogwarts Legacy, trying to learn some of these spells, trying to snare them under, as they're not even on the board yet.
So right now, what would you change from game 1 to game 2?
Well, I never like being on the side of a Blitzcrank hook, because that means someone's dying for sure.
Bathwater going to be in trouble here, going to get knocked up here, and the Glacial going to be able to run away, but is going to be taking that at the expense of half their health and their flash to get out of this. So
yeah, I think Blitzcrank or Cease and Assist has been able to get a lot of value out of here. Of course, there's other hook champions, but Blitz is a little bit different than the others. And I think some of this is also coming out of how the draft phase ended up going as well. Picking in the top laner like they did means you get a free counter pick here, and you ended up getting another one elsewhere, which really kind of helped their composition answer what Paradox wanted to be doing here. So the drafting phase, I think, is kind of important how this plays out.
Trahan might be in trouble. That he's going to be getting the flash of the wall. That's going to be Twisting Advance coming through. It's going to be trying to use that for disengage. Nothing else coming out, but Phoenix, just going to be re-engaging back on Trahan and just walking up a little bit too far. And the Star Call is not going to be able to help him. Wow, that's
I guess I never missed, huh?
Bad Witch is just having Honestly, frankly, a bad game just continuously being hooked over and over by cease and desist. I
Yeah,
that's
I
like
I
the
never knew plants were magnetic. Just hook magnets right there.
yeah. Apparently.
You would
But
think it's a biological substance you wouldn't necessarily be, but maybe they're just like in a really iron nutrient soil, so they're just gonna be kind of grabbed in, derooted here. Some nice deforestation happening here on the Summoner's Rift. Love to see it when you're the one doing it, of course, not on the side of the plants, of course.
so right now, you have this mass. You have okay. This is like a 14K gold lead. Do you even care about Baron at this point, or do you just shove in a lane, go for a team fight, inevitably win
Mid
the team fight because of the gold difference, and
You
then
you
end
you
the
have
game?
two
Or
TPs here, so and you don't necessarily need the numbers. Mid's going to be pushing for free, and you were able to get a bot split push here as well. So you certainly could do it. You don't need it, but you can just say, "Hey, we're going to take Baron." You either give it, and you have to deal with the consequences, or you can try and fight it out, and we'll just turn. And we know how these fights have turned out,
yeah.
especially with all of these ultimates coming up, and when you have one flash down.
Oh wow. That's gonna be Phoenix going all in, and he might get caught out here on the Call of the Fortune. That's gonna be a double knockout. Phoenix getting quite low here. He's gonna be having to flash out, but now that's gonna be Fishy putting in a lot of work here on the top side. But that's gonna be Not So Dark getting the pickup, and that's gonna be also Cleo going down. Now it's just up to Hunter by himself. He's surrounded by enemies, and he's gonna be going down, and that's gonna be a full ace against Paradox. And now it's
Not taking
all
a
just all
single soul
TDS
here.
members all survived here. The only person who kind of got low there was Phoenix, but he flashed out early, and now they're just
Yes.
gonna crunch through these towers. And I think this is your game.
Yeah, it was certainly a game to be had here, sitting at a nice, sizable gold lead. We'll have to see how these teams are going to be adjusting into game two. Perhaps TDS Nice is just going to run it back and say, answer this. We know what works here. We're able to punish some of these lower vision scores. Pretty much everyone had a higher vision score on the side of TDS Knights. And when you're able to get a lot of these picks, like I mentioned in the draft, vision does matter. If you aren't able to see where the picks are going to be happening, going into darkness is very dangerous and you get picked out and you'd be kind of afraid of some of these engages coming out of a nocturne.
So okay, post game. Who do you think? Who do you think were kind of the MVPs for this match?
Oh, cease and assist. Able to
Yeah,
roam every
yeah,
lane, affected every lane, and then Not So Dark didn't die. So there's an argument to be had for like Not So Dark did a lot of damage, didn't die when they were weak as well. But a lot of these plays just happened because of cease and
yeah.
assist. Like period. Uh,
I,
for
I
the other
I agree with that.
side, Bathwater was able to stop some of these. They ended up getting a successful gank topside, despite how things were turning out. Super important here as well. The other contender here being Trajan, who has the most kills and probably the most gold at this stage in the game as well for their team. Yep, it looks like that is going to be true. So they weren't able to get as much out of the Callista pick, so they weren't able to get that early game out. So I'm gonna have to go with Bathwater here.
All right. And with that in mind, we're going to be getting ready for game two. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see if they can kind of return the beating that they. We're going to see if Paradox can return that beating. They're going to probably have to lick their wounds a little bit, but I think they can come back in this next one. But
Yeah, they
we're going to
certainly
be
can
right
come
back.
back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We are getting into the draft for game 2. First game, kind of a stump. I kind of can't deny it, but we got to put that in the rear view mirror, and we really got to get into game 2. So, what do you think is going to be changing? I know what I said, but what do you think is going to be changing up here?
I think Blitzcrank here is probably going to be ending up banned. It looks like Timo is getting banned, but there's still time for some of these bans to be adjusted. I think the draft priority pick is going to be changing here a little bit. Top lane might not be picked up right away, which is important here as well. And it looks like Paradox is agreeing with me here that the Blitzcrank didn't feel so great. Cease and assist is gonna have to play something else, and it's always a badge of honor when you just do so well in a game and then you see it snap banned on the other side. You're like, yeah, I did that. I made them mad. And of course, the Master Yi as well. That one staying the same from last game makes sense, of course, being in the hands of Paradox. Been able to get some success out of it, and Master Yi can just carry games on his own.
Absolutely. I'm not surprised to see the Xayah ban also coming out from TDS Knights, just to take that away as a potential priority pick. Paradox, they might pick Maokai here as a first pick. We've seen that. Oh, they're just going to be picking that Zyra. So Zyra obviously can be, is most often played in the support role, but we did see Zyra mid lane last game. She did very much lose the game. I think that the majority of that was based on Cease and Assist's gameplay and his ability to roam and get a lot of those grabs. So I think with that out of the potential pool, she might have a better time here. But you could just pair you could pair Victor against it again.
Yeah, plants do give you vision if they get stepped over. So there was a potential argument to be there that they just weren't able to get some of those wards and protect themselves from some of the roams. Possibly the comms were cluttered, or people just weren't mentioning that there was MIA. Sometimes, you come out of Fountain and you just expect them to walk back there, but that's not necessarily going to be the case. So we'll have to see if they're going to be caught out here. And the Lux wasn't banned this time. So Caitlyn Lux is one of the strongest bot lane compositions that you can have. Just being able to ruthlessly bully the enemy bot lane. You can just kind of walk people down with Caitlyn, and you're just able to get a lot of shoving here as well. And then as Lux, it's a lot easier to land your abilities because the enemy has to sink their damage into the wave. Otherwise, they're going to be missing a lot of gold, and you can sink your damage into them, and you don't have to worry about taking any money from your AD carry because there's no minions in the way.
Yeah. I mean, right now, Paradox is going to be just kind of keeping the same draft so far. The only switch up they have is going to be Sivir picked for the bot lane, but it's going to be Maokai for the jungle this time. And there's going to be a J4 return grab. So I'm kind of interested to see J4 going into Maokai. He's going to have a little bit of a tough time, like definitely into Maokai's era. But hey, I thought Nocturne was going to be an issue, but Phoenix was able to create a lot of early tempo and then make it not matter at all. Like you had all those peel tools like on the side of Paradox, but it didn't matter. He was able to find a lot of value, able to just continuously turn the lights out and get a lot of those pickups. They had just way too much gold advantage there.
Yeah, gold advantages just means you can say, we're fighting now, whether you like it or not. It's just how much you want to lose when you have that over a 10K gold lead. For sure. They have a nice kind of setup here on both sides and some nice peel. And of course, the extra movement speed coming out of Sivir's ultimate is going to be nice for the team. Going to be able to enable a lot, kind of making everyone to like a mini Udyr, if you will, just being able to run at people a little bit better. Of course, TDS Knights is going to have some nice siege potential here and just some nice objective control. The Yordle traps are going to make it so you're harder to just walk through, so you'll have to walk around. And of course, Lux is able to just kind of poke people out and zone people out with her kit. So we'll have to see what our final ban's going to be here. And it's nice to see that top lane wasn't picked super early so that they're going to be able to get a nice counter pick here on the side of TDS Knights, or they might just go for mid lane again if they're going to be predicting for a Zyra. Mid lane again, they're going to be able to do a 2 counter picks here in theory.
Hey, the Gangplank, that's my favorite. Let's go. I'm excited to see.
Spoiled.
I am spoiled. I'm excited to see the Bilgewater Scourge coming in. I think, you Paradox is setting up with those bans to be possibly playing an Ornn here. And I don't know if you can necessarily play an Ornn into GP, but they are going to certainly try. So for the most part, they're running effectively like the same comp outside of Sivir. Sivir's the only change up so far, and we're obviously going to be seeing the last pick here shortly. But
yeah, it looks like they are kind of agreeing with me. It wasn't necessarily a composition issue. There were some other issues that bled into it. And of course, like how the draft ended up being picked up was important as well. So the ordering changing, super important as well. And it looks like we're seeing an Ashe support here going with the Sivir, just to be able to get some nice trades. The thing is, when you push into a lane and you expend some of those resources, Ashe can just kind of run you to your tower and you get hit by one Ashe auto into the W, and you're just so slow with the frostbite that you could just end up dying here. Aurelion Sol. Yeah, that wasn't banned. That was banned last game, but it wasn't banned this game.
yeah.
So Aurelion Sol here, going to be some nice juicy stuff. I'm not sure if they get stacks off of the Zyra plants. Every once in a while it changes. Like you used to be able to get cull stacks out of those plants as well. You don't get that anymore, so I don't think they're going to be able to get those out of those plant turrets, but I've been wrong before.
I believe that the plants are classified as pets. And I believe under Aurelion Sol's Stardust, he gets one stack off of small minions / pets. If I recall the text correctly, I could actually look that up right now. But I'm honestly scared for Paradox if this game goes late. You have some of these late game monsters with Gangplank and Asol. Obviously, you have the Ornn to kind of counteract some of that damage in the late game, but those two hurt a lot. So, kind of looking at these comps, who do you think has just the immediate edge in your mind?
In my mind here, let's see here. We have a nice juicy bot lane coming out of TDS Knights here with some nice setup and decent scalability with Aurelion Sol and Gangplank. So he'll be able to follow through an early, mid, and late game. But Paradox here is going to have a nice sort of pickup. They have got some global ultimates as well to go with it and some good layering to go with it. So the late game, I don't think even with an Ornn is going to be quite as potent as Gangplank plus Aurelion Sol, depending on how these games line up. And we saw what TDS Knights was able to do with the lead, and they're going to be able to get a little bit nicer of a lead earlier on. So I would say this should go to TDS Knights.
So, okay. Mid lane, I'm still looking up right now if Zyra plants are able to be considered Stardust. But do you think that Asol will be able to kind of stay in the onslaught of Zyra?
That does make things a little bit more difficult to, for sure. Zyra's going to have a little bit more of a range advantage for her kit and can really chunk people out and do a lot of damage as well. Aurelion Sol does have some mobility to go with it, with his just extra movement speed, really, but very linear. So I don't think he's necessarily going to be able to dodge bad witches stuff, so he could get harassed, but some of his ranges are just big enough to deal with it as well. And we bad witch doesn't necessarily want to be pushing up here as well, because Jarvan's just going to be able to jump on her as well. So she's going to have to be kind of careful with how she's doing this with her more auto shove. Should she just pop up a bunch of turrets and power shove waves constantly?
All right. So like these bot laners, right now both of them are ranged, both of them are kind of going to be going for a lot of pokes. Do you think that with Lux having a hard CC in this lane, Caitlyn having a bit of hard CC, that they're going to be able to just kind of take you kind of mentioned that they're going to be able to poke them out more effectively, but do you think this poke is going to also translate to better vision control, or do you think that Ashe is still going to take the cake on that with her just many options?
So one thing to note, Umbral Glaive did get a slight nerf. You only do 2 damage rather than 3 damage to wards. that's still not going to really stop how her kit operates. So she's going to get more of a vision score, especially if she's going to be knowing generally where people are going to be and get some of that extra vision out of Hawk Shot, her E. So the vision lineup should be going over to Cleo here for sure versus Lux. That being said, it might not be enough depending on where they're going to be seeing and how they end up utilizing the pick as a whole.
All right. So, and last but not least, Gangplank versus Ornn. I think I could talk on this like matchup for a while, but I just think that Gangplank beats out Ornn. You can kind of you can kind of outspace them with the barrels. Obviously, Ornn can take a lot of just the Q poke damage if you're going to be going for that. So I think as Gangplank, you really just want to be farming it out, just play for the money, get your parlay stacks, get your silver serpents, and then just be able to translate kind of the early items into a potential lead for your teammates, and then throw around those global ultimates, help out the squad. But I think Gangplank just has to be smart so then he doesn't get ganked by Maokai, because Ornn and Maokai together kind of CC him into oblivion, and there's a few knockups there, so Gangplank's going to have a hard time like removing Scurvy to get away. But what objectives do you play for TDS? Like you have a scaling mid laner, you have a scaling top laner. Do you just play for dragons as Jarvan?
Well, is Jarvan going to have some nice setup with how some of these go in? So let's say you hop in, that brief moment is going to be enough for your bot lane to get set up, whether it just be a Yordle trap or Lux's entire kit. Aurelion Soul, if you're at level 6, you can clump in Zyra. They're either going to be flashing out, or they're going to be taking a lot of AoE damage from the dragon. It's going to be a little bit harder to gank into an Ornn, as Cataclysm does have terrain technically, so they're going to be able to knock up Gangplank, which means you can't cleanse a knockup. So it's going to be a little bit harder to go with that, and he's already going to be winning as is for the most part, as you mentioned. So they don't necessarily need to win more. He could just be kind of going for a counter gank there as well, just trying to match up. I think they're going to have a little bit better of a 3v3 composition.
Oh, okay. So I looked it up and I was reading through like all the text, and Zyra plants, like the smaller of the two, the Thorn Splitter, does not count as a pet, but the Vine Slasher, the upgraded one with the ultimate, does count. So,
okay.
yes.
Brilliant Soul only gets stacks off of champions, large minions, and small minions. So
Yes, yeah. All right. But I was talking a little bit too much there. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But we're going to be getting into game 2. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for game 2 between TDS Knights and Paradox. Right now,
Yeah.
we are going to be seeing a bit of a turnaround between the sides. We're going to be flip-flopping the sides. So PDX is going to be on the blue side and TDS is going to be on the red side. We're not going to be seeing an invade here. We're going to be just going for a nice 5 spread.
I know we talked about how we felt about the mid lane matchup, but we know how Swedish Pancake feels here. Already going with a Dark Seal early on, thinking they're going to be just fine. Of course, they're going to have an extra pot to absorb some of this extra damage and heal it back up. But we'll have to see if they're able to get some of these earlier stacks here. Perhaps they're going to get some nice, juicy ganks, especially with them taking first strike into Bad Witch's Zyra.
So right now, I think I've seen a fair bit of just ASOL gameplay, just really trying to research it and learn it. And I've seen a lot of people taking either First Strike or Unsealed Spellbook. I've seen a lot of Unsealed Spellbook come through, but I'm not too surprised to see First Strike. You're able to just instantly proc it with the Q, and like the second it comes off a rotation. But Fenix is going to be starting here on this bot side of the map, and Bathwater is going to be starting on the top side of the map. So Bathwater might be just kind
to a gank.
Oh wow, Phoenix really just liked a lot of these early plays. Did this last time, but that's going to be a knockup onto Trahan. Trahan's going to be having to flash out, but is ignited. That's going to be flash forward by Phoenix, and Cleo's by himself going to have to flash away from this as well. Wow, Phoenix is just going for a lot of these early plays. Last game only had 8 CS, went for a kill, and then this time only got his first camp, and then went for a kill. So
yeah,
Phoenix being absolutely ruthless, and then going to be rotating this over into a red buff.
Yeah, going into a red buff there. Just people don't necessarily expect the level 2 cheese, especially out of a J4. Sometimes you see that out of like a Twitch jungler here, but it's possible they're going to be chunked out here a little bit more. They might just be feeling a little cocky after game 1, how well they did.
Yeah, as I say, Cleo forced him off of the red buff, but now he's going to be going in after Bad Witch, and Morgana is just going to be and kind of trying to clear out these Raptors, but might get caught out. And he's going to be level 3. Little Phoenix could be in possible trouble. Going to be getting the knockup. Going to be getting in a lot of this damage into Bathwater, but is probably going to be able to run away from this play. But that's going to be a flash in onto Bathwater. But the burn, the trial by fire, able to pick up the kill onto Bathwater, giving over the buffs to Gangplank here on the top side.
Yeah, we're already getting a stack on that Dark Seal here. And just the fluidity roaming around here. We have to point out at this point that Knights already has 3 buffs. No, they've secured all 4 buffs, haven't they?
They have. Oh, no, they have not. The red buff. Phoenix wasn't able to get the red buff on the bot side because Cleo rotated around. But still, you have 3 buffs on the side of TDS here, and you have blue buff on Gangplank, who is fairly mana hungry in the early game. But right now, Bathwater is going to be looking for a rotation onto this bot side. And they're going to be trying to at least get the pickup on Cleo. Cleo's going to be going down. Cease and Assist is going to be getting the pickup. But right now, Not So Dark trying to get some damage back, but is going to be falling down. But Hunter on the top side getting rotated on. That's going to be a flash out from him. But the red buff on Phoenix is just going to ensure that he cannot get out. And that's Cease and Assist is going to be getting a kill on the bot side. Wow. But Phoenix is going to be getting the pickup on the top side here. Already kind of a fiesta of a game.
Yeah, Fiesta mode certainly has been unlocked. Not So Dark missing that Piltover Peacemaker, not getting the kill there, preventing them possibly from getting another one. Yeah, they were definitely dying there. No vision and shoving up. That's kind of an easy way to end up dying, getting caught out. It happens to the best of us. I've certainly never done this as Caitlyn myself.
Having witnessed that,
don't
Caitlyn,
tell
I
any
can
stories.
totally
Don't tell
agree.
any
I can
stories,
totally agree.
Yeah. Thanks for agreeing with me there.
No problem, buddy.
And then, of course, on top lane, able to get some nice plays there. Just getting a lot of gold here. First strike, getting some nice value, getting some extra money here. Like last time, we were at 1,000 gold difference at like the 4-minute and 30-second mark. That's not the story here. We're sitting here at closer to 3,000 of a gold difference, and we're not even getting into the level differences that we're seeing. We do have a deficit top side, though.
Yeah, it honestly really just depends on how you space out this lane, and it seems that Fishy's going to be taking a lot of extra damage from these procs, but Cease and Assist possibly, and getting a lot of damage on Cleo is not going to be getting the grab there. That's going to be heal coming out. Dark is trying to trade back some of the damage, but Morgana Bathwater is trying to get in a lot, but she can't really get the damage through.
Sheen doing wonders there.
Yeah, the trial by fire. It's true damage, baby. You got to watch out for it, and the Sheen just hurts. Phoenix trying to get some of these plays in, but Morgana has the red buff, so it's going to be giving up a bit. Ooh. Oh.
No
Cleo,
ace in the hole quite yet able to pick him out.
How much health did Cleo have? That was nothing.
I have no idea.
Cease's just absolutely brutal this game.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. If you're just able to push out as Lux, Caitlyn, it hurts. You don't have to worry about stealing any of the farm there. And when you have 2 kills on your Lux, air quote, support, you're just able to do a whole lot of damage here. I'm a support, guys. You have a death cap. I'm a support, guys. I promise. I promise, guys. You have all of the kills. I'm the carry. I have only assists. I'm the support, guys.
Just hits like an absolute train. Yes, support. Oh yeah, right now gonna be hitting this damage. Oh, that's gonna be good E shield coming in from Trahan, and that's gonna be not so dark. Having to go back in the lane, and so they're unable to most likely get this pickup. Little Phoenix is gonna be fighting Bathwater here, and Swedish is gonna be coming in for the rotation. Wow, and right now Season Assist might just be getting the free kill. Wow, just gonna be walking in melee range and just gonna be giving over a free kill to Season Assist.
It's referred to as a mix-up here because no one expects it. So they're like, they're gonna walk backwards and try and dodge it. Oh no, they walked into it. I never saw this coming. I'll take my kill though.
You are right. I did not see that coming. You got me.
You got him.
You got me, but you got at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's just like the counterplay to Viego with the cellular items, so he can't use them.
Yes. Always. It is an option.
Big brain
it is an
play.
option. Not a good one, but an option. So right now, Gangplank here on this top side, not level 7 yet, so not getting any of this barrel cooldown reduction coming through, and Orin able to shove in a massive wave here, able to get some of these backs off. So still is keeping up with Gangplank despite being down the 2 kills, obviously, being that level up, but Gangplank's just going to be in a very strong position here. Next back, he gets an Essence Reaver. And that obviously just is going to accelerate his gameplay.
Yeah, he only has 500 gold on character, but 3.2k overall at 8 minutes is pretty massive here. Of course, Essence Reaver are going to be doing wonders here. We'll have to see once he gets a shove back if he's going to be able to get some of those cloaks as well to get some of that crucial crit that he needs. Ooh, just barely missing the net there as well. And the follow-up by Cease Assist. It's not a Blitzcrank hook, so it's not quite as forgiving, although Lux is got a nice giving to her kit as well. They're not able to get the passive proc to really finish out and continue chunking out these champions here. We are seeing a bigger vision score, though, out of Cleo here over Cease and Assist, who has a vision score of 0 minutes at 8 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, I don't need vision if I'm just going to kill you, though. I mean, that is a possible option, I guess.
Murder is a solution. You heard it here from Verdant Chaos. Hashtag not legal advice.
I maybe didn't use that exact verbiage verbatim, but the Starfall going to be coming in from Swedish Pancake. Bathwater trying to get out, but that's going to be Bad Witch rotating over to them, and he's just going to be walking on out of this play.
Yeah, not dying here, super important. Just trying to restabilize, make sure you can catch a wave, make sure you're not getting chunked out and losing anything. Just like Swedish Pancakes having to flash out here. Otherwise, they could have been facing a death sentence, although they might be getting awfully close here to their Rod of Ages, which is going to enable them. Oh, the Cataclysm!
The Phoenix is going to be coming in with the Cataclysm, getting a lot of this damage out, and the Dragon's just going to be flying in. And, no, you just the ace of the hole able to get the pick up there. Cleo walking away. Trahan walking away from Cleo, trying to save his teammate, and just going to be taking the L here in this bot lane. This tower is going to be most likely going down here. Wow. This bot lane has not gone well. We'll say that.
Yeah, someone call Smash Mouth because they're looking like an all-star there, making the enemy team sitting there with an L on their forehead. We'll have to see if they're able to get this first tower. It looks like that's going to be the case, and they'll be able to rotate into the mid lane and just get some free CS and bully out Bad Witch, who already had enough of it already. Well,
Uh-oh.
speaking of
Here
being
comes Call of the
bullied,
Forge God. All right. That's going to be remove Scurvy coming out. Going to keep him alive, but Fishy's going to have to go for the back here. We'll be able to have TP. We'll get the Essence Reaver. So going to be in a much better position here in the top wave, but Hunter was almost able to get the pickup on him.
yeah, almost. It was a good attempt, and if they were able to get that, that was going to get them a little bit more on the gold board here. Ooh,
Right now, Phoenix is just going to be getting the bull drag onto Hunter. Just going to be coming in for a lot of these minions. Not surprised. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I feel obligated here. I didn't talk about it as much last game, and it's like one of my more infamous talking points, I think, is just Vision wins games. Oh, speaking of Vision there.
Okay,
that's illegal. That has
You
to be illegal.
Okay, Fishy has a 20% crit chance, and he absolutely just blew up. He just came down, blew up Cleo like it was nothing. Not So Dark's just going to be getting the pickup onto Hunter.
With the plated steel caps sitting on Hunter as well, just still getting chunked out, getting headshot, which of course is kind of lethal should you find a 33 caliber in the cranium.
So right now, Bathwater definitely in the early game was trying to do the best they can, get a lot of these ganks off, but unable to do kind of hemorrhage and like stop the hemorrhaging bleeding from his team. And this again, we don't really like to be too doom and gloom, but right now it's an 8K gold difference at the 12-minute mark.
The best way to stop any hemorrhaging there is to ban Vladimir for sure, but it looks like that's not going to be enough to end this up with all these waves crashing. I was predicting Not So Dark to be going to the mid lane. That's pretty standard, but it looks like they want Swedish Pancake to be able to farm safely as well, which makes sense.
Oh, right now he's kind of caught out under the tower, having to flash away, but Hunter's going to be getting quite low, and this is going to be the ace in the hole coming through, unable to find the pickup. Not So Dark getting quite low here. Will they be able to find the kill here? That's gonna be called the Forge God, and Not So Dark's gonna be going down to that, and that's gonna be the second kill for Paradox here.
Yeah, 2 towers versus 2 kills and versus 11 kills as well. Not looking so hot here to be for sure. Almost at 10K at 12 minutes.
Cataclysm coming in over the wall. That's going to be a knock-up onto Little Phoenix. Is he going to be able to survive? He's burning alive. Does the damage get there? It does not. But Cease and Desist able to get away from this as well. Wow.
Just for the reference here, folks, a stomp is considered a 500 gold advantage per minute. And we have certainly crossed that line. So this is starting to look to be a stomp. And with our Lux air quote support being 3-0-3 with a Luden's Echo, the classic support item, that's a lot of damage. And when your tanks are this far behind, not having a mythic themselves, you're not going to be able to peel for your team, and you might be joining them singing Kumbaya in the fountain.
So, quick question on the side of TDS. Obviously, they have an advantage, but do you agree with their choice of, like, they have Iceborne Gauntlet here or IBG, and then they have plated steel caps on the Gangplank? Like, do you agree with them going for armor component? Like, or should they be trying to go for mercs, considering like the amount of CC coming in from Paradox?
Non-living targets do not produce crowd control, which seems to be their answer to that question.
That's fair.
That being said, I would expect a gore drinker coming out of the Jarvan pick, just being able to sustain some of these picks. He hasn't been dying for sure, but oh my gosh, the cannon barrage plus ace in the hole, picking up some targets, and no one was there to say, get down, Mr. President. Well, I'm here to protect you. They just kind of sacrificed Bad Witch, who's just been having a rough matchup.
The Enchanted Crystal Arrow unable to find a pickup here. Trans is going to be getting quite low. They're going to be going in for the engage. They're going to be pushing Not So Dark back into the team, and Not So Dark is going to be going on down. Morgana able to find that pickup there.
Oh no. They were able to get another kill here, which is super important, especially on the AD carry, who isn't necessarily one of the stronger scaling champions for sure. She does scale quite nicely.
Oh my god.
especially at level 13. Just that never happened. It was a support. What are you gonna do, man? Right? Like they're famously strong and do lots of damage by themselves. We'll have to do so much rigorous farming here. It's a CS score, a champion
Uh-oh.
score.
The Call of Forge God going to be knocking him up out of this. He's going
Ooh,
to.
that
Ooh, that's going to be a flash away
flash.
from Pancakes. Pancakes going to be now possibly trying to turn this situation around with Phoenix. Phoenix then going to be caught up by Bathwater. They're going to be fighting against each other, but right now Phoenix has a level advantage, but Hunter's going to be rotating down. I think this might be the play broken up. There is the star call coming in from Asol here. Like, the falling star could be quite strong.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's 5 stacks per champion hit when that goes off. I'm not sure if it's quite evolved yet. I don't think.
Yep,
I've
this
seen
guy,
any
this guy's
marks.
descend is up. When it goes from the blue to purple, that's when you know it's up.
Okay, yeah, I know sometimes it'll mention it in the chat, and that's usually what I rely on in my gameplay, but it looks like it's not coming through on my end, which is fine. Of course, here we haven't talked about how the early game went. We know who was on the winning side. It didn't end at the 14-minute mark. Once the first tower fell at right around the 10-minute mark is when the early game happened. So we've been in the mid game here for a while with all these towers going down, these tier ones.
The twisting
just
advance
getting
going to be
caught
coming
out.
in onto him, but that Sky's descend are going to be double knocking them up. He's trying to get as much channel as he can. The Cataclysm coming through, the flash coming out of Morgana Bathwater right now, trying to run away best they can. That's going to be slows from Phoenix. Oh, is Morgana going to be able to get out here? Phoenix kind of playing with his food here. Going to be getting the knock up, getting a lot of these slows. Going to be getting some of the healing from Morgana. Gets the shove away, but Phoenix still just has more move speed. Yeah,
Yeah, no
Phoenix just
flash
gonna
there to be as well,
grabbing
but
that.
we did see one out of Gangplank getting caught up by the tower.
Ooh!
Oh, super greedy. And of course, that's going to be a 450 shutdown going over to Bad Witch, getting onto the scoreboard and going to be getting a little bit more gold. Of course, we're sitting at over a 10.5k gold difference. So this is not sitting super great at the 20-minute mark. We're not even the 20-minute mark here. We're able to get the second Rift out kind of by ourselves with Phoenix as well. Oh my
Oh my god.
gosh.
Oh my god. Cease and desist. They maybe have a family at home, like, and you just robbed them of ever seeing them again. You just blowing them up.
Blowing them up for sure. Phoenix here has been kind of a catalyst for a cataclysm out of both of these games, just rotating in, getting some nice ganks in game 1 and in game 2, doing a lot of damage here. And Season of Assist, sure, we can't forget about them as well. We ended up, or at least I ended up giving them MVP last game, and it looks like they're trying to make sure they solidify that into game 2 as well.
Yeah, no, I absolutely give them MVP of last game mentally as well. Oh, the Enchanted Crystal Era almost finding the grab on a season assist. Right now they're trying to go for a possible play, but right now she's just holding this vision line all by herself. But she might get collapsed on.
She has so much damage just out of that. And she's catching up on the vision score as well, which is something to mention. She was behind as well when I kind of said, hey, you have a vision score of 0.
The Cataclysm coming out. That's going to be a double knockup. Twisting advance coming through. Phoenix is going to most likely be caught out here. They're trying to heal him up as much as they can. That's going to be 800 gold shut down, going over Trahan, but that's going to be and double kill going over to Not So Dark. Just going to be grabbing a lot of this engage here. Just going to be getting Cleo and Bathwater. So now it's going to be hard to turn this play unless they use Called Forge God.
Yeah, it's a number even game here. They're going to have a tower to glean in on. Of course, they could be getting chunked out here should some of these important spells like the Spell Shield coming out of Trajan as well. It's a 20-second cooldown at its lower ranks, so it's not going to be here for everything, and they can get kind of chunked out. And with the split push here, they're going to have to respond to something. A fight's a brewing, to be sure, especially with third Drake up.
So right now, Fishy's going to be taking half of his health from the tower, possibly going for a potential bait. But right now, they kind of a little bit split apart. You have 2 people in the mid lane. You've got 2 people in the bot lane. And it looks like they might be trying to collapse in the mid lane. That's going to be Enchanted Crystal Arrow coming in from Cleo. Going to be grabbing Cease and Assist. Cease and Assist unable to do anything else. And that's going to be Tran getting the 800 gold shutdown. And Not So Dark having to flash away from this play as well. The GP ultimate coming out, but unable to save any of his teammates. Ace of the Hole going to be getting Bad Witch quite low. That's going to be at the cost of Dragon to get some of these plays here. And Sky's Ascend going to be getting some knockups here. The Phoenix going to be jumping to the back line. The Cataclysm coming through, but he's getting quite low, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be able to walk on out, and now we have Not So Dark just pumping
an
in damage
ace?
into this back line. And Bathwater trying to get away best he can, but that's going to be an ace. And that's going to be Swedish Pancakes getting that last pickup there.
Yeah, they got a lot out of the mid, trying to force out some of these important summoners, which was very nice, and trying to play around some of these objectives. But like I mentioned earlier, they have a quite good siege comp coming out of here. Caitlyn, Lux, and well, Gangplank can also siege pretty well there with his barrels, just trying to blow people up. And with the Navori's Essence Reaver right now at 20 minutes,
Well, he
that's
had
a
it
lot
like
of damage.
sub 17 minute. So like he's
Yeah.
had that for a while.
Yeah.
I think an important thing to keep in mind is you also have the Demacian standard, which upgrades the attack speed of all of your allies and your minions. So that's also going to help for your siege. So that's just another boon for that purpose alone.
Cease and desist, don't do it. I see the double rod there. I know I joked about the death cap on the support. Please, no. Please, no. They have a family. No. I feel bad. Oh.
You won't see him again. They're gonna just die to the sun. Okay,
Not
Lux
being
is
able
just
to steal the blue buff there.
Lux just gonna be slam jamming that ultimate, just taking Bathwater down to half health.
They need the death cap to
Oh,
secure
Enchanted
the
Crystal Arrow
objective.
gonna be picking up Not So Dark. Trayan's gonna be pumping in a lot of this damage, a lot of the shielding trying to come through to save Not So Dark, but Trayan's gonna be getting away with it, and Morgana is gonna be getting that shutdown, but throwing the twisting advance towards his teammates.
Yeah, an excellent pick coming out of Paradox here. Big goal here. That's 715 total with the bounty as a whole. And when you're down Caitlyn, that's a little bit less turret damage that's going to be coming up here. Of course, there's the split push on the top side, and you're not going to be able to 1v1 this out. But you could possibly play this fight out.
Right now, Little Phoenix is going to be going for the Cataclysm onto Tran. Tran was low and went down immediately. Right now, Hunter and Fisher are going to be going at it. Fishy's kind of low here. Hunter's going to be going for the flash, trying to get the brittle proc here. Oh, the blast cone going to be able to get Fishy on out of this play, getting it away safely.
Yeah, the Chem Tech Soul coming into play here. Extra distance between them, super important. You love fighting in the jungle when you're Hunter here, because you're going to be able to use these walls, and you can't cleanse these knockups, as I mentioned earlier. And with Fisher being so low, that's quite dangerous. Looks like there's going to be another skirmish here. They haven't been able to push out some of these waves as much as they would like to with the Baron buff, but they've been able to get some decent value out of it as well. I have to admit, well, we didn't say it when it happened, but it's still a 20-minute Baron. Like,
Yeah.
that's a lot coming out of here. And this is the quarterfinals here, so they've been fighting pretty ruthlessly for this semi-slot. We'll have to see how they're going to be closing out this game, if at all. There's still time to throw, but it's not looking likely right now.
Yeah, right now we have Hunter having the first ornament of the game, but he's their tankiest member, and he just got half health by the Lux.
Lux
Swedish
support.
Pancakes Lux support, to clarify. And now we're just going to be seeing just all this damage coming in through the top side. Bad Witch is just going to be grabbed by the edge of that. And that skill shot there. Swedish is going to be just trying to throw in that extra damage. That's going to be flash away from Bad Witch, but that's Twisting Advance coming in. Tran's going to be activating ultimate, trying to get the damage through. That's going to be Cataclysm coming over the wall, just going to be picking her up immediately. Morgana's trying to get cease and desist, trying to get that extra damage out. She's getting quite low. She might be burning here alive, and just has enough ticks as the shield's going to be saving her. And cease and desist is just going to be surviving with a scant of health yet again.
Nothing's ruined her positive attitude. They're going to be coming out here. Although that flash, though, forcing out, they're going to be able to play to their fountain. Ace in the hole is not going to be enough to chunk them out, but the inhib is going to be going down in response. Possibly the bot inhib as well here. We're at the top. They have to pick their fights out here, just rotating in here. And with Baron coming up in 2 minutes, they're not going to have to worry about that, but they're going to have to worry about this Dragon coming out. So if anyone gets picked out, that's going to be kind of important.
So right now that's going to be Enchanted Crystal Arrow, finding the grab onto Not So Dark. Not So Dark looking to be possibly in trouble, trading a lot of damage into Tran. Tran's going to be barely getting away with that, but the Bad Witch is going to be throwing the Ignite onto Not So Dark, and he's going to be going down. And so now this is a possible 4v5 for this Dragon, but
it's sole point. It's sole point. This is very important.
It's sole point, and this
and
this
you're
is
down
an
an AD carry, not going to be able to do as much damage here. So definitely important. like I was trying to say here, although getting
Ooh.
chunked out that much, the death cap not killing here, and instead gonna
Ooh.
end up dying here as well. This could be a possible dragon for them, or forcing it out, making sure soul doesn't happen.
So right now it's going to be a 3v5. You get that TP in from the A-Soul. That's going to be Cataclysm pulling them all in together. That's going to be Stopwatch coming in from Little Phoenix. Are they able to get any further pickups? Fishy's going to be getting another, but he's getting quite low. He can't put out any more damage. Little Phoenix going to be going down to Trahan. Trahan's getting a lot of the damage, but the dragon is still alive and still kicking, burning everyone with his vomit. And yep, that's going to be a triple kill for the A-Soul. And Gangplank just TP'd in the mid lane, is just going to be taking over all these towers, and I think that might be your dagger, ladies and gentlemen.
That fight was awfully close for a 22k gold differential there. So just being able to get some of those picks really does change how these games go. Numbers advantages do play to a nice win condition here as well. If you're able to pick out some of these more important carries and make sure they're not going to be doing as much damage here. But it looks like that wasn't enough for Paradox to try and bounce back and take some stuff here. So it looks like this is going to be a nice, clean 2-0 coming out of TDS Knights there. Very well played by them.
Absolutely. I think I have to 100% agree. I think uncontested MVP, cease and assist, just putting out a lot of damage and just a lot of utility throughout these games. But I think to talk about the other side of the match, for Paradox, obviously they kind of struggled in both of these matchups, but who do you think was just the unsung hero for their team?
I think Trajan did well in both games, despite how their team ended up playing. They were able to get some gold and get some kills on here as well. They have 2 completed items here, unlike anyone else on their team, which is super important, just being able to get that gold. They were even for quite a while versus Not So Dark, which is fairly impressive when you're behind. Just being able to stay even, at least in the farm and an EXP part of the game, is very important as a carry. So I think the ace should go to them. The other contender I would be okay with is Bathwater. They were able to get some nice play setups there. Nothing fell through, and they just ended up losing to Phoenix, unfortunately for them. And with such a critical role in these compositions, I think that's going to be enough to push it over for Trajan for me.
I think I have to. I think Trahan absolutely put out like a fair amount of damage. Kalista game 1 was able to get some of those early return kills onto Not So Dark. Then game 2 was very close on a lot of those like solo plays versus Not So Dark, and Not So Dark had like massive gold difference, and like it got quite close. So I think I would also agree with you on that sense that it goes over to him. But that is going to be game 2, and going over to TDS Knights. Congratulations, TDS Knights. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us here today. Thank you very much, Abba Trombone.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you here. It was great watching these games. I know it didn't necessarily feel as great for Paradox, but it was still a fun match to go out here and cast.
All right, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, good luck on the Rift, and don't be salty during your ranked season.